Sup lads, welcome back to another video. Now today a bit of a different one, so we're looking at every Premier League goalkeeper. Well, I'm not gonna lie, the title was a bit of a lie. We're looking at every Premier League kind of like their first choice goalkeeper, so not every one in the division because that would take an hour, but every number one. So I've got all 20 Premier League clubs first choice goalkeeper pretty much. Obviously there's some teams that kind of uncertain on the number one if you like there's not a standout number one kind of, that's very rare, and in that case I just have gone for the one I think should be number one, and that will most likely be number one. So it makes sense. It probably made no sense to you, but there you go. We'll roll with it. Right. So 20th place. I've gone for Alex McCarthy. Now this is not the best start, as you can tell. Southampton fan from the shirt. But the thing is, last season I was thinking we need to sign a goalkeeper this summer. We are not signing a goalkeeper this summer. So it's going to be another season of Forster McCarthy battling out. I just went for McCarthy because he's the one that started on the first game of the season. It could have been any of them, and to be honest, I probably would have both ranked them bottom. I don't rate them highly, as you can probably tell, but you know, they're just every time you see them in the team, you think, oh god, they can make a mistake today. The one against Everton, I think the third goal, I think it was pretty much straight at McCarthy. He didn't save it, but you know, at the end of the day, they're still Premier League goalkeepers, aren't they? So you got to be some sort of decent avenue, and they are both England internationals. So make of that what you will, if you think they're decent or if you think England's goalkeeper options are just a bit not the best. So yeah, starting things off, Alex McCarthy sends in goal. 19th place, we're going for Dan Bachman of Norwich, of Watford, sorry. Obviously it's between him and Ben Foster for the starting spot, and it looked like it will be Bachman because he got the starting spot in the first game of the season against Villa, which was obviously a shock 3-2 win for Watford, wasn't it? But yeah, I think obviously Bachman will be the number one, and to be honest, I mean, I think he's decent. I think he is decent. He was Austria's number one at the Euros. And exactly, you know, he was number one at Euros. You know, he was probably one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship last year. And I do rate him quite highly, but the quality of this list is very high, and he's never played Premier League football before, literally on Saturday. So who knows, he could be climbing the rankings a few more places, but again, it is a very competitive list. So I've put him in 19th. 18th place, I've gone for a bit of a more inexperienced name, Tim Krul from Norwich. Now, obviously, he was very good in his prime, you know, playing for Newcastle. He was very good there, and also playing for the Netherlands at the World Cup, winning that penalty shootout. He got subbed on, didn't he? And he won them the shootout. So he is a good penalty shootout goalkeeper, Krul. But he's a bit old now. I think he's probably 30s now, 32, 33 maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think it was between him and obviously they bought an Angus Scum for Stanton for the number one spot. But I've gone for Krul again, started the first game of the season. But again, I think he's decent, but it's just a decent calibre in this list. So I have gone from an 18th. 17th place, I've gone for a new signing, Jose Sarr from Wolves. Obviously, this guy could be the best goalkeeper in the league, but I've seen literally nothing of him. I think he was playing in Olympiacos in the Greek league last year. Wolves brought him in. I think he played for Porto, he might have done before that. I think he played for some good Portuguese team, whether that was Benfica or Sporting or Porto. I can't remember what one it was. I'm pretty sure it was Porto though. And again, they replaced Patricio, and Patricio was definitely one of the best goalkeepers in this league. I'd say certain top 10, definitely. But yeah, I think Jose Sarr is a bit, again, I haven't seen much of him, so that's why I put him so low. But again, it's a good competition in this list, I keep saying, so that's why he's so low. But who knows, he could turn out to be quite good. 16th place, the last promoted club goalkeeper, got David Raya from Brentford. Obviously kept a clean sheet against Arsenal on Friday night, but I think Brentford fans were saying he was all right in the Championship last year, but again, he put in a very promising showing on Friday night against Arsenal, and Brentford fans will be hoping he can keep that up, and hopefully they can stay up. And I think, yeah, he's a decent goalkeeper, nothing amazing, but again, probably around the same quality as the last few goalkeepers we've mentioned. 15th place, now I have gone for a controversial one. I've gone for Bernd Leno from Arsenal. Now, you're probably thinking, what? He's for Arsenal, how can he be 15th? Well, to be honest, I think Leno was at the 2019-20 season where him and Aubameyang literally carried Arsenal the relegation zone. He was good then, but the last few seasons he has been quite shaky, I think. For the Brentford goals, I mean, for the first one, I think he is kind of onside, and maybe you can argue Chambers could have blocked it, but again, it's still at his near post. Second goal, again, you can argue Jansen's fouling him, but you know, the ref hasn't given it, therefore it can't have been a foul on the keeper, really, can it? So you can argue both ways there, I guess, but it's not just that. He was quite shaky last year, and a lot of Arsenal fans want a new keeper, and maybe that is why, you know, they sold Martinez, kept Leno. Martinez is a goalkeeper and get onto a lot later in this video. So think of that what you will, Arsenal fans. 14th place. I have another controversial one. I've gone for Hugo Lloris of Tottenham. Both North London goalkeepers featuring back to back. But the thing is, Lloris, I think he is decent. But it's just a mistake prone. He makes too many mistakes too often, I think, for a goalkeeper as per his quality. Obviously, they bought Galini from Atalanta. He could provide a bit of competition for him this season. But he did start against Man City. He was actually quite decent against City. I will give that to him. But again, it wasn't. He can be quite shaky sometimes. Again, he's still France's number one. You got to be doing something right there, haven't you? But I think he is a bit over the hill now. I think he's past his prime, but he's still a decent goalkeeper. I won't put that past him. But I think but he's getting a bit out of his prime, and I believe his contract does run out next year. So maybe this will be his last season as a Spurs player. 13th place, Martin Bravik of Newcastle. I mean, I think it was 18, 19, 19, 20. This guy's been talked about as a very underrated goalkeeper and probably not one of the best, but one of the, bit like you'd say maybe a Nick Pope now kind of guy, known for very good saves. And he's very athletic as well, but he was injured for the majority of last season. Obviously, Carl Darlow came in, did very well in his place. And Freddie Woodman started the first game of the season, I believe. Dubravka and Darlow were both out. I think they were feeling ill or something. I don't think it's COVID though. But Woodman came and saved the penalty, so that's decent for him, isn't it? But I still think Dubravka will be the number one going into new season. But that's three decent goalkeepers Newcastle got. I do rate Woodman highly. I believe he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship last year. Dubravka I rate highly. Darlow I rate highly. So Newcastle have got three very good goalkeepers on their hands, and I think Saints should definitely take one of them off them. Whether that is Darlow or Woodman. I probably would like to see Woodman as personally, but again, we're not going for a goalkeeper this summer, so we've got no hope, have we? 12th place, Vicente Guaita of Crystal Palace. Again, quite an underrated goalkeeper, I think. Very athletic, and he's a good shot stopper. Can be prone to the odd mistake sometimes, but again, very athletic. He can make every few games you just see on the highlights, he makes an absolute worldy save, and that keeps Palace in games. Sometimes you need that, but again, it's just his mistakes, the odd mistake that does let him down a bit here. Again, it could be a lot higher if it wasn't for those, but again, all goalkeepers make mistakes. There's no goalkeeper that has never made a mistake in their career, so. But Vicente Guaita, again, he does make quite a few, but I still think he's a good shot stopper, therefore I put him in 12th. 11th place, I've gone for Robert Sanchez for Brighton. Obviously came into the number one spot last season, usurping Matt Ryan to that number one spot. Obviously Matt Ryan now at Real Sociedad, I believe he signed for. But again, Sanchez did very well coming in from last season, kept quite a few clean sheets as well. Started this season well, and went to the Euros with Spain, albeit as their third choice goalkeeper, but still, you've got to be doing something right then if you're going to Spain at the Euros again, albeit third choice goalkeeper, but still. Decent goalkeeper, I think, quite underrated. I have him in my fantasy, so didn't do too well this week, but hopefully he'll do well in other weeks. But yeah, Robert Sanchez, I think he's decent, and again, you've got to be doing something right if you're getting into Spain squads, haven't you, for the Euros. 10th place, the first, getting into the top half now. I've gone for Illan Meslier of Leeds. I know he conceded 5 goals against Man United this week. None of those are really his fault. The defence was so leaky, wasn't it? But I think Meslier is good. I think he's by far the youngest goalkeeper in this list. He's 21, I believe, now. So again, decent, and I think a future France number one. I think he showed very promising signs last year, and again, he's only 21, so the mistakes he makes, he'll definitely learn from. And I don't think he's even that short either. I think he's 6'5", is he, or something like that, which is very tall even for a goalkeeper. So again, Meslier, good. He's very good. I do rate Meslier again quite highly, a bit like Robert Sanchez. I think those two can pretty much change out positions. I wouldn't mind, but again, they're both quite young as well, so those are promising futures for Brighton and Leeds between the sticks. And to be honest, I don't think it is long before Meslier gets moved to the top clubs. I think give it 1 or 2 seasons, and he'll be going to maybe a Chelsea or Man United or something like that. 7th place, no, sorry, 9th place. I know where I got 7th from. 9th place, I've gone for David De Gea. Talking of Manchester United, again, this is another one where it could be De Gea, could be Dean Henderson. And I believe, was it De Gea? I'm pretty sure it was De Gea, wasn't it, that started against Leeds. But I think Dean Henderson's still recovering from injury. He picked up with England at the Euros, well, in the training camp, I believe he picked it up. But I will put De Gea as number one. I think he is a tiny bit better than Henderson. I know he didn't shine. He wasn't great in that Euro 2020 Europa League final. I don't know where I got Euro 2020 from. Which wasn't even playing in Euro 2020, but no, he was very good and very good. He wasn't good in the Europa League final, was he? Didn't save any of the penalties, missed the decisive one. But penalties are a lottery at the end of the day. But maybe you could argue you should save 1 out of 11, shouldn't you? But yeah, again, I think in his prime, he's definitely taken first place here. Just a couple of years ago, he would have taken first place here. But he has dropped off quite a bit, and I think ninth. I think he's about right. I still rate him quite highly. He's decent on his day, but the mistakes have started to creep into his game a little bit now. Eighth place, gone for Jordan Pickford of Everton, probably one of the best goalkeepers at the Euros. Won the Golden Glove for most clean sheets, but Donnarumma, albeit one player of the tournament awards. Again, saved 2 penalties in the final of the European Championships. Obviously let down by his teammates, but we moved. It wasn't really their fault, was it? But again, I think he is mistake prone for Everton. Maybe before the Euros, I would have put him probably a lot lower down. I won't lie, but I do rate Pickford quite highly. I have put him up in eighth, and I think he is better than most of these goalkeepers that I put below him. You can argue again that, and he was, to be honest, I will admit he was improved a lot of last year. At the start of last season, he was quite shaky, but again, it wasn't even like he was bad the second half of last season. I think he was much improved going into the Euros, and obviously had a great Euros for England. He's always better for England than he is for Everton, it seems, but again, still decent, and I'll put him in eighth. Seventh place, Lucas Fabianski of West Ham. I do think this guy's quite underrated. Obviously at Arsenal, we got the name Flappy Hansky, but he has improved a lot since then. Obviously, he was good at Swansea. Then they got relegated. West Ham picked him up, and he's done really well there. Obviously, West Ham have bought an Areola from PSG on loan. But again, I think what will happen is Fabianski will play League, Areola will play Europe. I think that's what will happen. That's just a guess, because I can't see one of those not playing, because I think they're both as good as each other, really. Areola's very good at Fulham last year. But again, Fabianski, I think he's very underrated. I think he's a very good shot stopper, albeit he's quite old now. I think he's 36, 37, but goalkeepers can go on forever, like you see with Buffon. But yeah, Fabianski decent. I'll put him in seventh. Sixth place, I've gone for Nick Pope. To be honest, I will be up at Pope for Pickford. I would actually start Pickford for England. I just think he's better for England, but Pope is much better, I think, for club than Pickford is. Not much better, actually, but still. I think what helps Pope out is he's got a good defence in front of him, but when he's called on, he's great. He's a good shot stopper. The only kind of bad thing about Pope is his footwork. That's his only kind of iffy kind of area in his game, but again, he's a great shot stopper. And he's very good on FIFA as well, so that's a good thing as well. So yeah, sixth place, Nick Pope. Again, I think he's good. A lot of people are saying he should be England's number one this summer. I would say Pickford personally, but again, he got injured, didn't he? I think he's back, isn't he, now from injury? He's playing against Brighton on Saturday. But yeah, Nick Pope decent, and I'll put him in sixth. Fifth place, I've gone for Edouard Mendy. Definitely, I think maybe could have gone in the top four, but it was very tight between these top five. Any of these, I think, could have won the best goalkeeper award. But I've gone for Edouard Mendy mainly because last season he did really nothing before that of note. I mean, he was at Rennes, he got into the Champions League, but again, before that, nothing And it's a great story from Edouard Mendy. I believe he was playing in the French third tier just a few years ago, so it's great stuff from him to recover his career and play for a Champions League winning side like Chelsea. But again, if he has another good season this year, he can definitely get, I think, maybe even win this title. But I think just for now, I think I'll put him in fifth. Again, good shot stopper, he's tall as well. I mean, he's 6'6" as well, with like Melier. So again, that helps as well when you're being a goalkeeper, doesn't it? And again, good shot stopper. And I think he's decent with his feet as well. So yeah, I'll put him in fifth. Fourth place, I've gone for Emmy Martinez of Aston Villa, obviously just on the Copa America with Argentina, and again, great career recovery at Arsenal for God knows how long. We had so many loan spells. Went to Villa, was absolutely superb last season, fan FPL machine last season, but again, not the best of starts, conceding 3 goals to Watford, but again, none of those were really his fault, I wouldn't say. And I'd still put him in fourth. I say he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League last year. He won the Golden Glove at the Copa America. And I was going to put him third, but I put one man just above him, and that is Kasper Schmeichel of Leicester. A man I rate so highly. I rate Martinez highly too, don't get me wrong, but Schmeichel is just, I think he's so underrated. I really love the guy. Maybe not when he was playing against England for Denmark, because we just couldn't seem to get past him. The only way to get past him was some stupid man with a laser pointer, but that was literally the only way he could be beaten that day. But again, he was absolutely superb that game, and that was not a blip. He was great last season. I think the FA Cup final, there was 2 worldy saves he made. Community Shield, he made good saves as well. Great stuff from Schmeichel. He was so underrated. Again, a lot of people even saying he's better than his dad. Now, I wouldn't go quite that far. But very good still, don't get me wrong. Third place, the bronze medal in this list, which leaves 2. Edison and Alisson. Who have I got in first? Who have I got in second? In second, I've gone for Ederson. I just think we'll talk about Alisson in a minute, but the thing with Ederson is, I think, whereas to Alisson, I think he is prone to mistakes. So is Alisson, to be honest, don't get me wrong. I mean, we look back to that Man City game last year, crikey, that did not go well. But again, you know, maybe it was something about his dad, who obviously sadly passed away last year, and maybe he wasn't right mentally, but you know, he's still very good, and I still put Alisson first. I think it's very tight between these two, and again, I think any of the top 5, you could make an argument for winning the best goalkeeper title, but I think Ederson, he's much better. They're both very good with their feet. Actually, I was about to say Ederson's much better with his feet, but he's not really. He's just very good at his. He's good at a long kick on the counter. That's what Ederson's good at. But not just that, he's a good shot stopper as well. And you know, you don't get to play for a title-winning team and a Champions League final team for nothing, do you? So Ederson in second. In first place, I've gone for Alisson. I just think he can make a game-changing save at points. Any of these goalkeepers can really, but I think Alisson is just. There's some saves he makes. I think it was Napoli in the Champions League a few years back where he kept Liverpool from going out, and they won the Champions League that year. So if he didn't make that save, they would have gone out of the group stage. But it was a big save. And again, I think he is the best goalkeeper in the league. Obviously, he scored last season, didn't he, against West Brom, that last minute header. But I just have put him first. I just think he's a bit better than Ederson, if I'm being totally honest. But again, as I keep saying, you can make an argument for any of these the top 5 goalkeepers in the league, I think. So, yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. Ranking the 20 number 1 goalkeepers in the Premier League, every Premier League club's first choice goalkeeper, however you want to put it. If there's other videos on me to do like this, I did one for managers, I believe, last year with Aaron. But if you want me to say that again, because there's been a few managerial changes, obviously, newly promoted teams have come up since then. I could do that, and obviously opinions have probably changed on some managers. So if you want me to see that video, let me know in the comments if they are enabled, and let me know who you think they're the top 5 goalkeepers in the league, and in order if the comments are enabled. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It's a bit tricky, but we move. Thank you for today, guys. So we're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you can help out, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're getting close. I think we're 13 away now. It's not much at all. And also, my second channel, Talk Saints, is in the description. Link to that if you want to. So that is quite funny sometimes, because I do rage quite a bit on that channel when we lose, which will be quite often this season, trust me. So, yeah, go and subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. Yeah, thank you for today, guys, and I will see you soon.
I got a premonition, I'm dreaming you and I. All my darkest fears are coming outside. We got a billion races, we got this melody, and you can trust me, baby.